Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you for choosing to stay with us. Now, author Daniel Mashego has written a thought-provoking read called Blacks Only. It's okay to be black. The book couldn't be more appropriate at a time when South Africans are struggling with narrative and ideology around race. The last couple of weeks has seen unprecedented debate around this issue on social media platforms. Mashego tackles a range of issues, and race is only one aspect. He joins me in studio. Dee, good morning. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
You got to know that when you put something on a title called Blacks Only, it's okay to be black, that it's going to find itself in a controversial space. You're going to find yourself having to defend the book. Why such a contentious title?
I agree with you. Race is a very sensitive issue, and not in a million years have I thought that I will write a book talking about race. But again, we need to accept that we need to talk about these things for us to advance. We need to talk about these things for us to deal issues. I mean, the recent race issues that we've been seeing in the social media is because people don't want to talk. It's because people don't want to engage. And then it comes to a level where people can no longer contain it. So I felt I needed to write this book so that also there's a dialogue concerning the issues that we are facing as black people in particular.
I'm going to argue that in many ways that race is an emotive issue, and that maybe, we've seen this conversation on social media. Anybody who's on Facebook or on Google or on Twitter can see some of the reactions, and people have lost their jobs, and that there's maybe a lack of intelligence when it comes to this debate. And a lot of people have been calling that we tackle this from a very, very intelligent perspective, the issue of race. Why do you think we struggle when it comes with issues of race, with issues of identity, with issues of defining who we are, our purpose within a collective?
No, the thing is, race is very critical because it determines who you are. It defines who you are. And remember, with the stereotypes and the perceptions that we have about races, now, if you are a black person, you know you're going to be treated in a particular way.
Because you talk about stereotypes in your book, too.
Yes. So, because if you are a black person, you're expecting certain treatment based on your color. As a white person, again, we're going to treat you in relation to what or how we perceive you to be as a white person. So race is a defining factor in terms of our everyday life.
But you were saying that in the book as well, that you can't talk about South Africa without looking at issues of diversity and without reflecting upon the past.
Yes.
And many people are arguing on Facebook that at some point we need to get over this hurdle, and some people are arguing we can't get over it because we've never dealt with it.
Yes, so we cannot say we are done with the issues of apartheid. Apartheid did a great blow, especially on a black person. And the question that we need to ask is, ever since 1994, are we better off? Ever since 1994, has things changed? And the issue is, with what we have seen on social media right now, you can see that there's still issues, race issues, that we need to deal and confront as South Africans.
But you also confront a whole bunch of other issues. You don't only talk about race in your book, you talk about entitlement. You talk about, you give advice and guidance to black people, and talking about this idea of being lazy, this idea that black people are exhibitionists, that they have to flash, but you drive an expensive car, but you drive to a shack.
Yes. So it goes back to the issue of apartheid. Apartheid didn't just take money away from us or land from us, but it also did a great blow as far as our psychological perspective as far as life is concerned. So how we see things, how we view things. So for example, I'm talking about the exhibitionist mentality to say, most of us as black people, we drive in nice cars, but we don't have investment portfolios. We're driving nice cars, but we don't have a roof over our head. We still stay in a shack. So I'm saying that perception needs to change. We need to graduate from that level and come to a level where we say, first thing first. I mean, I cannot afford not to send my kid to university, but I'm driving a flashy car.
Can I ask you a question? When you say blacks only, it's okay to be black, are we operating on the assumption that there's something wrong with black people, men, or black people from an economic, social space at the moment? Because you're saying a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is observational. You've noticed things about black people. And this is also in many ways a guide to start a discussion.
So there's a quote that I put right at front. I'm saying there is nothing wrong with being black.
Yeah.
However, there's issues regarding the black race, and those issues can only be dealt by the very black people. So what I'm saying is, every day as a black person, you are treated with suspicion wherever you go. Everywhere as a black person, you have to work twice, thrice as hard to prove yourself in a working environment. Now I'm saying, despite all we're going through, all those incidences, there's nothing wrong with us. We are okay, and we can accomplish what any other race can accomplish, and that's what is lacking in us. We don't believe in the abilities that we have. We don't believe in our capabilities, that we can set up big corporates as black people, that we can invent things like any other race. That's why I'm saying it is okay. There's nothing wrong to be black.
Dee, very quickly, what has the reaction been to this book?
It's mixed reactions, but obviously when people look at the heading, the one question that I get is, are you a racist? And I tell them, I'm not a racist.
Because that question's been thrown at you.
Yes. So I'm not a racist. I'm looking at the issues that most of us as black people are going through. And I'm saying, as black people, what do we need to improve so that we advance?
For sure.
Because after 21 years, we're still lacking. I mean, after 21 years, we don't have black corporates, black banks, black telecommunications. And the question is why?
Dee, we've run out of time. Dee Mashego wrote a book called Blacks Only. It's okay to be black. Go and get it. Let's talk about it. We're taking that break. Again, man.
Thank you very much.